Welcome back to Tri Alliance TV. We're here with Claire Schneider and head coach from Tri Alliance Queensland, Mark Turner. Guys, Tri Alliance is more than just a triathlon club. It's a really big supporter of the SmilingForSmiddy charity, which raises funds for cancer research. Mark, why did Tri Alliance get involved with SmilingForSmiddy?
Look, for a couple of reasons. One is, I think as triathletes we're in a position to make a difference. You know, we have our health, we lead a very healthy and active lifestyle, and so I guess as a social responsibility, I think we are in a position to make a difference. Triathletes are very well connected, quite intelligent, and they're quite productive in terms of being able to get things done. So, like I said, you know, we have a really motivated group of people that are keen to help others. And SmilingForSmiddy is a charity that, you know, are supporting cancer research, and cancer is a disease that can affect any of us at any time. So I think, you know, while we're in that position where we can make a difference, and with cancer so prevalent in today's society, it was a natural fit.
Claire, you got things done this year. I understand you did the SmilingForSmiddy ride. Can you tell us some of the details of the ride first?
Yeah, so the Smiddy Challenge is the original Smiddy ride, and it's a 1,600 kilometre ride from Brisbane to Townsville that they do every year. So the bunch rides 1,600 kilometres over 8 days in September, up through the centre of Queensland, turn right at Charters Towers and head to Townsville. Yeah.
What was the ride like? What were some of the conditions?
Oh, look, we had a total mixed bag of conditions this year. We went from being freezing cold in Nanango on day 2 to hitting, I think the Garmin hit 46 degrees on the way to Belliando Crossing. We had 4 days of headwind. And the thing about doing a point-to-point ride is you don't get to turn around and get tailwind coming home. So we just punched into a headwind for 4 days, kind of 9 hours ride time every day. So the conditions were tough, and that's why it's called a challenge. You know, it's about putting your body through something that most people think is totally impossible. More importantly, about mentally getting through that as a team and getting to Townsville.
And there's a lot of support along the way?
Yeah, so we had 50 riders, over 50 riders, and we had about 10 road crew. And the road crew did everything for us. You know, they do your washing. Every time you stop, there's food. They're rubbing sun cream on you. They're making sure that as a team we're getting on the road. And then the support of the communities we went through, you know. We would be in the middle of nowhere and you'd see a sign that a farmer would have put up on a fence saying "Good luck Smiddy 2013." You'd roll into town and you'd have school kids lining the street clapping the bunch into town. You know, the ride's been going now, this was the 8th year, and it does the same route every year. So these local communities really take ownership of the bunch. They welcome us into their homes every night, and the support is just phenomenal. Yeah.
And what did you choose, personally, why did you choose to do the ride this year?
Yeah, look, I was a competitive cyclist in my younger years, and through that experience spent a lot of time travelling country Australia, racing on the velodrome. And my dad coached me, and he drove all around Australia with me in a Tarago and coached me to state titles, national titles. About 2.5 years ago, Dad was diagnosed with melanoma. And I had always been aware of the Adam Smiddy story, a young Brisbane triathlete who died of melanoma at the age of 26. So I thought it was an opportunity for me to be able to do something positive to honour and support what Dad was going through with his treatment. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't have the skills to treat Dad in a physical sense, but I could do something to show I'm supporting him. But at the same time raise some decent cash to help prevent other families in the future going through what my family went through. So really it was all about doing something really positive in what was a pretty sad situation. The dream always was Dad was going to come as road crew, and he was pretty passionate about getting out on the road for 8 days with a bunch of bike riders. I think it was his ultimate dream. Unfortunately, about 10 days before the ride started, he had a massive stroke and was hospitalised. So it was a very big decision for me to go on the road with the bunch. We had a team meeting, family team meeting, on the Thursday night before the ride, and the vote was taken that I was still going, despite the fact that Dad wouldn't be able to come. And he actually came out of intensive care on the Thursday night before the ride, and he called me, and the first thing he said to me is, "Have you packed?" So he was pretty determined that I was going on the ride. So I called him every night, and he wanted to know how far we'd ridden, what the temperature was, what the wind direction was, how the riders were going. and you could tell he was living vicariously through the bunch. So it was a pretty special experience for us to go through. Unfortunately, my ride this year had to be cut short. I had to abandon the ride about 150 k's south of Charters Towers to fly home and be with my family as Dad's condition deteriorated, but that's why I've signed up again next year. I'll be back. I've got some unfinished business to do to roll into Townsville, and it really was a truly special experience that Dad and I will always share.
Mark, Claire was clearly motivated for this. I mean, what sort of support can Tri Alliance provide to somebody along the way?
Look, I guess you've got your coaching support, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's probably more the support from her fellow squad members. You know, Claire's spoken to me about, you know, the support that her friends and squad members gave to her in a very difficult time for herself and her family. You know, and the updates that we would get each day from the ride, you know, it clearly inspired many others in the squad what she was doing, and for that matter, what everyone else that was doing on the ride to Townsville. So there's, you know, there's the, I guess, the emotional support that you receive from within the squad, and there's also the coaching support. You know, we have a diverse range of coaches that come from a number of different backgrounds and qualifications, and so there's personal programs, and then there's obviously our different squad sessions that we offer for athletes, whether they're training for an Ironman or for a SmilingForSmiddy ride. I know there's about, I think, 4 or 5 from the squad signed up for next year's ride, so you know, they can get a personal program, or they can have a coaching consult, or you know, even just tap into the different expertise of our coaching team.
Claire, what would you say to people that are thinking of joining you next year for the ride? What advice?
Take lots of chamois cream. Mark spoke about kind of the support that the squad gives you. There's the really practical things that your squad mates give you, and you know, for me, the week leading up into the ride was quite emotionally challenging, and I hadn't packed until the night before the ride, and I had one of our squad members show up to my house with my chamois cream that she'd gone out and bought me. She said, you're going to need this. But it really is about being, if you're going to take it on, be open to the challenge, you know. It's physically very hard, but it's emotionally and mentally tougher. You know, you sit at lunch every day and you're exhausted and you've still got 100 k's to go. And it's about being open to that experience though. Being open to the fact that you're going to a fundraising dinner at night and you're absolutely exhausted, but your job is to be a Smiddy ambassador. So I would recommend it to anyone, without a doubt. It is one of the most challenging things that I've ever done, but it's one of the most uplifting experiences that I've ever been through. So get yourself organised, take your sun cream, get your bike serviced, make sure your kit's comfy, and get ready to spend 11 hours a day on the road for 8 days, and you won't regret it.
Mark, what would you say about Claire?
All-round great girl. You know, Claire was our first Tri Alliance Queensland ambassador for the 2012-2013 season. You know, and she did a fantastic job in the way she carried herself and the way she you know, promoted our brand and our sponsors. She was a fantastic ambassador, and now she's actually doing a bit of coaching with us, specifically working with the beginner courses that we run on the cycling side of things with her background. You know, I spoke about the diverse range of backgrounds that our coaches come from, and you know, certainly Claire's experience and qualifications that she's done as a cyclist is helping people come into the sport. So, you know, all-round good girl, Ironman, cyclist to Townsville, solicitor. So yeah, we're very proud to be associated with people like Claire.
And Claire, just on the side, how much money did you raise for SmilingForSmiddy personally?
I think I raised about 15,000 across the ride campaign and the work we've done for Tri Alliance. You know, it's a big chunk of change, and I was actually quite surprised though how easy it was to raise a significant amount of money when you're doing something that people think is actually crazy. And if you're prepared to put your body on the line for a cause like the SmilingForSmiddy cause, people will throw you $50 along the way. So the support that I received from a fundraising point of view was quite overwhelming. But it's all going to such a great cause that I think it really touches people. Yeah.
Tri Alliance Queensland, or Tri Alliance as a whole, has raised a fair bit, and Noose is coming up. What's happening up there, Mark?
So next, you know, Noose is coming up just around the corner, and we're presenting a cheque to the SmilingForSmiddy Foundation. So Tri Alliance Queensland and Tri Alliance Victoria have spent the last 12 months fundraising for them. We hope to be presenting them with a cheque of around $60,000 at the Noosa after party. So you know, that $60,000 can fund a research position for 12 months. and that's the type of stuff that goes towards saving people's lives.
Excellent achievement. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say on a personal note how grateful I am to everyone in the squad for everything that they've done for not only me but my family in the last kind of 6 to 8 weeks. The support that we've received has been truly overwhelming, and I think it's a real testament to what Trial Alliance is all about. It's not just a triathlon squad, it's a group of people who are great mates and do it as a lifestyle and are there ready to support one another when times get tough. So on behalf of the entire Schneider family, I'd just really like to thank everyone who's shown up with food and chipped in with a bit of support over the last couple of weeks. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.